Welcome everyone to the Bullseye Podcast. If you are seeing this on video, you're probably really confused.
If you're not seeing this on video, it didn't work.
It didn't work. We are live today over here at Hunter Wright Stadium, home of the Kingsport Axmen. We got Logan Davis, General Manager. How are you doing, Logan?
I'm good, doing good. Glad to be on here.
Yeah, good. Well, we saw your team down there on tarp duty.
Oh yeah,
that was pretty intense.
Yeah, it's fun stuff. Gets better every time.
You look about 20 people short of having the right amount of folks to pull the tarp.
Yeah. Different strategies. Do what we can until we get all the players out here to help us. So.
Well, we wanted to come out today and really, kind of broaden the scope of what we do. We talk finances, we talk strategy, we talk this and that, but we like to have fun too. Mm-hmm. It's our personality, so we're trying to incorporate the video today. So if it doesn't work or if it's terrible,
it's Josh's fault.
It's totally my fault, and I will take the blame for it. So let's just put that disclaimer out there. But we're thankful to be here. I met Logan. What did we meet? About a year ago? Has it been a year?
Yeah, maybe a few months ago. Yeah.
Yeah, it's somewhere between a year and a few months. Mm-hmm. That narrows it down. But we're both chamber members here in Kingsport, and that's where we cross paths. And obviously, Peter and I are big baseball fans, and we just wanted to come out here and hang out with you for a little bit.
Yeah.
Is that cool?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, tell me, so we've got the Kingsport Axmen. Mm-hmm. Where in the world did that name come from? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so the city and Visit Kingsport got together when the team was being renamed from the Mets, and they decided to base it off of Daniel Boone and his crew of Axmen, they called them, that trekked through this region back in the day and started out the whole wilderness trail deal. So Daniel Boone and his crew of Axmen is where it came from.
Wow.
It's one of the cooler mascot names of the Appy League.
For sure.
Yeah.
Because there's some wonky ones.
Yeah.
What were we just talking about?
The sock puppets.
Yeah.
And you got the Doughboys, the Johnson City Doughboys.
Yeah.
And they all have regional connections, right? There's something that goes with them, but
right.
Yeah.
You got the Whistle Pigs. They're in there. So
Otterbots.
Yeah.
It's funny because I've heard a lot of people, when this league started up, and they were doing kind of the rebranding and the namings of the teams. Everybody was like, "Why did they name it that?
Yeah,
that's so weird." There's just they don't understand, but it's fun. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a lighthearted play on it, and I guess everyone just got so accustomed to having the Mets or the Greenville Astros or those homeschooled teams that everyone knows in the majors. Mm-hmm. So to have these unique names, I think it really throws people off. But that actually kind of leads me to another point. This league is totally different from what folks are accustomed to. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us a little bit about how this came to be and maybe just what the difference is? Because I think a lot of people aren't in the know on that.
Yeah. So the Kingsport Mets, who were here for a long time, they were in rookie ball, which was an affiliate team in the Mets organization. And then when COVID first happened, contraction happened, so there was no minor league baseball that year. They only had Major League Baseball. It was a shutdown of every level of the minor league. So when, I guess, MLB reconvened and when they came out of the COVID year, they decided to get rid of a few of the minor league levels because there was a lot. So this old Appy League happened to be one of those levels that they got rid of, but they didn't just want to, eliminate all the baseball here and all these historic towns with the history of baseball here and all these teams. So they decided to make it a collegiate draft prospect league, so similar to the Cape Cod League that's ran by MLB as well. So they turned it into the new Appy League, which is now a draft prospect league mainly for underclassmen like freshmen and sophomores. But so MLB will find these top collegiate draft prospects that they seek out and then place them in this league and develop them and then hopefully draft them down the road. So
it's such a good avenue for these kids. Mm-hmm. The transition from college ball to minor league ball, it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
The change in speed, going to wood bats.
Yeah.
All of that is a huge difference. And so I think it's great. Hopefully we'll get this league to be the size of the Cape Cod League, because that's a massive institution.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And they've got a lot of history on their side, too, because they've been at it for a while. So they've got a great reputation. But I think we're just, building awareness right now. We're getting a lot out there all the teams do a great job in marketing and getting awareness. So once that just builds up, hopefully we'll be near the same level as the Cape.
I think you can really see that. The transition from the Mets to the Axmen, you guys are out there all the time now on social media, the promotions in park. I think you've made it a really accessible place for a family to come, especially with a lot of the promotions. And it's, if we can grow this thing to the point that we get a Freddie Prinze Jr. type movie out of it, then we'll do all right.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing, too, from a financial standpoint. This is a very cost-effective way for folks to come out and have a really good evening. Tickets are cheap. Everything here is affordable as far as food, beverage, things of that nature. You're doing all kinds of activities, promotions, things like that. I don't know why people wouldn't come out. And you don't have to know anything about baseball to be able to come and just enjoy it. Peter, you were talking earlier about a family of 5, comparing it to going to the movies.
I have too many kids.
Yeah.
So.
He's not figured out how that works yet. We'll eventually.
Well, we figured out how it worked and we stopped it, but it was too late. We just now have 3
The damage
kids.
was done. But comparing that, taking a family of 5 to a movie, and you're going to be well over $100 deep
Easy.
right there.
Yeah.
Compared to coming out here, and the kids can run around, they can toss ball, they can be active. It's just a really great venue for people to come, and I'm really encouraged because I'm in Greenville. I'm a Flyboy guy. Boo.
Oh, no.
Oh no, we're coming for you.
I don't know.
We're like 8 games.
Yeah, we're
8 games back, or
we're 2 away from clinching.
yeah.
So.
Well, yeah. So whatever. But even there, there's a lot of well-attended games down my way, and I just enjoy seeing people come out and be supportive because I know these guys. I know it's a grind. They're not living the glamorous, fancy life that we have in our minds that professional players live.
Yeah.
These guys are they're living at the Meadowview.
Yeah, the
right.
hotel, yeah.
They're living in a hotel. Do they get any kind of stipend or compensation?
Yeah, they get They live in the hotel, that's all covered, and then they also get a pre- and post-game meal catered every day. So basically, every day of the week, they play 6 days a week. And then they also get a $20 per diem every day for just other meals that, with lunch and dinner catered, you don't need as much, but so they get that every day too. So they're taken care of all around.
Yeah, but
so you're saying all the Bristol guys are staying at the casino with their extra money, trying to really turn it into a profitable.
Yeah. Have you had any guys go up to the casino and say, "I'm gonna strike it rich"?
Not that I know of, but they do. I believe, have some tournaments for ping pong and poker and stuff like that, where they'll,
at $20, burning a hole in their pocket.
Yeah.
You get that many college-age guys together, and we're all former ball players.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna find things to get into.
Oh yeah,
That's funny. I would definitely. I can go to Taco Bell and bust through $20 like that, just for myself.
Family of 5. You talk about Taco Bell, and it's one of my boys' favorites. It was really bad. They did this thing a while back where they were asking all the people in the drive-thrus to say, here are your X number of items. And it's really bad when you go through a Taco Bell place and they're like, that'll be $63 and here's your 42 items, type thing. And it happens.
What is when you do that, what is the percentage that your order is correct? Because I feel like with that many things, no way.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as you would think. Left out items, wrong items, not as much. But my boys, they're such bland eaters. So it's cheese roll-ups, it's beans and rice. But they want a lot of them. I've got 3 boys, a 13, 7, and 7. So they're able to put away some food.
15 cheese roll-ups.
So coming out here to the stadium like on a 2 for a Tuesday, I swear we walked out of here ahead on the 2 for Tuesday promotion because we walked out with 7 foul balls. And with what the price of a ball is going for,
true.
I think we may have paid for our tickets in foul balls.
Yeah.
You're just hoarding balls.
Just hoard.
There's a ton of foul balls here.
I coach my kids in baseball, so I know how much a good, dozen of baseballs can run you $40, $50.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And so if I can walk out of here with, 7 minor league balls to add to my collection, it's, it's huge.
Yeah.
So, Logan, I'm really interested. I know that, we talked about a lot of these players being underclassmen, freshmen, sophomores. Where are they coming from? Where are some of the notable places that these guys are coming in from?
So they're coming from schools all across the country, just based on how they're recruited. But some of the notable schools that we have guys from, we have one outfielder from UT, so that's a pretty popular name around here. Kyle Booker, he's really good. Didn't play a ton this year, but that's because they were so stacked this year. But I think he'll play a decent amount next year. He's hit really well here. We have Kendall Diggs. He's a third baseman from Arkansas who was in the College World Series, and he played a decent amount this year as a freshman. We have a couple players from UAB, smaller school. We did have a starting pitcher from Indiana University. He was our best pitcher. He had to go back to school the second week of July because he hit his innings limit for the summer. But IU, and there's a few other big schools on there. But we also have a lot of mid-major guys and junior college guys. Like arguably one of our best players is from Gardner Webb.
Okay.
And he's leading the league in stolen bases. He's hitting like 320. So, and that just, like I was telling you guys earlier, that just goes back our coaching staff researching these guys that had kind of the hidden talent. So
that's the cool thing about baseball, I think, is where it kind of separates itself from the other sports. You can have such legit players at these smaller schools.
Oh yeah.
And whereas, like sometimes with football or basketball, a lot of your 5 stars, all these guys are huddling up in these, major conferences, major schools. But that's kind of the cool thing, some of the mystique about baseball. You can find these hidden gems, just scattered all over the place. So
it doesn't take much for a baseball player to make a giant skill jump. One person points out something that they're doing in their swing and they go from a 250 hitter to a 325.
Yeah.
Or, if you're a pitcher, and I was a junk ball pitcher, so I never threw fast. But, if you realize, you're doing this, you go from a low 90s to up at 95, 96, and all of a sudden you're a pro prospect. Especially since everybody now is throwing,
mid-upper 90s. Yeah.
I haven't seen it in person, but I really want to see the 105 mile per hour fastball.
Ben Joyce. Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah.
I mean, I have been in the batter's box with some guys throwing some heat, and really, your only hope is to start your swing when his arm's coming through.
Yeah.
That's the only way you're going to catch up with, unless you just have crazy bat speed. So I couldn't imagine what a 105 mile an hour fastball would look like. But I saw a video from a catcher's point of view, and it makes a nice pop in the mitt when it hits.
Yeah.
It's real crisp.
Yeah.
It sounds great.
Have you ever seen those slow-mo videos of what actually happens to the mitt as it receives that level of speed?
Look, it looks like a blob. Almost.
It does.
Yeah.
I'm still heartbroken about Tennessee baseball, and I can't sit here in a baseball stadium and not just grieve a little bit. So if Tony Vitello's listening, which I'm sure he does, because we have famous people who listen. Great.
He's right next to Dolly in the car on a ride down.
Right, it's just, Tony, come on, man. Knocked it out of the park. We were so dominant, and then in typical Tennessee fashion.
Yeah.
It was unexpected.
Where it happened, I think, was so unexpected.
Yeah.
That early in the College World Series.
But as a and I've been, a long time Tennessee fan, baseball, basketball, football, and we have good years and things, but you're sitting there waiting for the ship to sink. you're waiting for the disaster.
Yeah.
You know it's going to happen. You just don't know when.
Yeah.
So it was so deflating, and I was bummed because I did this to myself. I let myself get excited, and I typically don't.
That was your mistake.
That was my mistake. I let myself get excited. And I was even thinking, I was like, I don't really have a vacation planned this year. And I don't have anything, planned with my son. I thought it would be really cool to go to Omaha and just be there. Because I don't want to go if my team's not playing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool. It would be fun. But I want to be there when my team's playing. So I was, looking at hotels and, flights and this and that. And, boy, I'm glad I didn't pull the trigger. Because I would have been so frustrated to make that trip knowing, they're not going to be there.
No. Well, and, maybe if they make it next year, we'll do a on-site podcast just for research. Because that used to be TD Ameritrade Stadium. I guess they've changed it to Schwab with the whole changeover. But
Schwab.
Yeah, which will, all of our clients are TD Ameritrade, so they'll eventually be at Schwab. But, the economic impact that places like Omaha have, for college baseball, or, even, at this level league, it's huge on people being employed, people, being able to, track and follow. One thing that I was actually really interested in after you started talking about it, you mentioned the outfielder from Tennessee. If you played at Kingsport this year, do you have to get redrafted to Kingsport next year? Or if you're back in this league, do you guys get to have a keeper league type setup where you get to keep those guys?
Kind of, yeah. So if, say, he wanted to come back next year, he'd probably let our coaching staff know. Then they'd reach out to the MLB player development and recruiting that runs the league and just be like, hey, we want to keep this guy if possible, and generally they'll let you. So there's, like last year, I think most teams, the max keepers they have would be like 4 to 6, but really the MLB is perfectly fine with it. It's less you draft, obviously, but they'll allow it if a guy likes his time, like in Kingsport, and wants to come back, they'll usually let him come back.
So it's kind of like my little league drafts where I'm like, well, that kid carpools with this kid, so he has to be on my team.
Need him back, yeah.
It's bad down at that level.
It doesn't matter that he's 6 feet tall and 200 pounds. It's just he carpools.
He's not going to get to play otherwise. I've heard that excuse so many times. We do the same thing. All of my oldest son's friends have played together for years, but we haven't been good, so nobody cared. Like, oh yeah, you can have that kid. And then we started to get good because we were putting in a lot of extra work, and they're like, I think he needs to be evaluated a little higher. And you're like, you're bringing in a travel ball kid that's a ringer. What, I can have my guy who didn't get a hit last year who happens to be able to hit this year. Have you I remember this being a thing back in the day. Have you had any parents say, we want to see his birth certificate? Who was the kid in the college world too? It's Danny Almonte or something like that. It was the 12. He was actually 15 pitching in the 12 and under college or the Little League World Series.
Yeah.
We haven't had that as much as we've had. That kid doesn't live in Kingsport. Whose parents and they're using like the grandparents' address to get him in and stuff like that. And
they're so sneaky.
Yeah, clever.
God, man, these so sneaky.
I just want to play with kids who I like, and coach kids that are going to have fun there being out there. I tend to find that the people who are bringing in that talent, those kids aren't easily coached. And so hopefully that's,
Well, it's a different it's a different coaching mentality now. I think because all of these all of the youth and all the kids have access to YouTube, all these videos and things where they're probably watching, instructional videos and things of that nature, and they probably show up if they're legit. They probably show up thinking, I already know all this. Which when you show up with that mindset, you're almost instantly unteachable at that point, which is the worst scenario you could ever have,
especially in baseball, because baseball, the technique isn't what you're trying to coach anyway. I mean, you are a little bit, but it's the mentality. It's such a mental game. So I'd be interested, actually. I didn't know if it I guess, seeped into this level. Are you all using any of the virtual reality stuff? Like Win Reality, it's one of those things that you can connect to an Oculus Quest, a VR headset, and you can see any Major League Baseball pitcher in virtual reality, and you can get thousands of swings in.
Really?
Yeah, just virtually.
Yeah. So we don't use any of that type of stuff, but we do have Synergy cameras that are set up at every game.
Okay.
There's either 4 or 6, like one behind home plate, center field, one at first, one at third. There might be 2 more, but we have a data coordinator who sets all those up, and so every player's at bat, pitch, movement in the field is all recorded, and all the players, the scouts, the coaches can go back and watch all of that. So they do use that as far as video and analysis.
It's become such a big thing. We were talking a little bit about the money ball and everything else beforehand, and it's if you're not tracking the data, you're at a disadvantage. And that was something that I was mentioning to you before. Like, you can clearly see it in Kingsport stats this year. You all drafted people who play a particular type of baseball. They play it well.
Yeah.
And you're leading the league in most categories. And so I think, one of the reasons why I was always attracted to the stock market was it's not that dissimilar from baseball. You're looking at fundamentals. You're looking at stats. You're looking at spreadsheets. It's, one of those things that I've always found a lot of parallels with. But you all have done it well this year.
But you're also sitting in the air conditioning.
Yeah.
So you played that well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good call.
Well, we just got back from a game at Tampa Bay. We went down to Tropicana Field. And so there you're in the air conditioning anyway, in the domes. I don't know that Kingsport can support a dome. I don't know that I want them to. But we're seeing it. I mean, there's been some massive improvements to this park. And I know they're starting to make fields like this in minor leagues and college leagues attractions. You've got the little green monster down in, what is that, Greenville, South Carolina, in the Boston system. They've got a mini green monster, and you can sit up on top and eat dinner and everything.
One thing I love about these stadiums is they're still very authentic, baseball authentic. And I hope that they never lose that. I hope that there's that authenticity of coming to like a minor league park or a AAA park or anything like that, because there's something a little different about it, and it feels different. So here's the big question. We're kind of coming up to the tail end here. So when are we going to invite the Savannah Bananas to Kingsport?
I would love to, but the Savannah Bananas have a little more freedom than just about all the other leagues.
Is that not the coolest thing?
It's super cool. Yeah, I mean, they're doing what even though minor leagues and college leagues that are with MLB don't have that much freedom, like they're doing what we all want to do. Because from this level up to AAA, like it's all about that. It's all about entertainment, the experience, their promotions, and they just kill it. So, like I said, they're able to do a little more, but like that's kind of the ideal.
How many times do you see something on their social media and you're like, well, if we tweak it this way, maybe they'd let us do it at the stadium?
Yeah, I've definitely, not even just them, AA teams, AAA teams, you're always looking at their promotions and something like Thirsty Thursday, seeing how you can do it here and make it work. But yeah, you're definitely always taking notes. And the Bananas, they're crazy on TikTok. So there's a couple of their TikToks we've seen and we're like, okay, we need to do something similar with our players.
Are you TikTok famous yet? I remember a while back, weren't you making some videos?
Yeah, we have a lot of TikToks. Most of them are hilarious. Some of them are stupid, but you get a great kick out of all of them. But we have a couple that have popped off recently, like 15,000 views and likes and stuff like that. So it's growing. Initially, we just started doing TikTok just as a video, creating and editing app. Most of our target market's on Facebook and Instagram, a little bit on Twitter. So we're like, okay, we'll just use this just to make the videos. We're not really going to pump it out there. But then, videos start getting thousands of views and it's trending. That's what everybody's on. So
what do you think the craziest video is that you've made thus far?
Well, there was.
And remember, this is a family show, so.
Well, all of our videos have to be PG/PG-13.
Yeah, I'm teasing.
In the off season, we got pretty crazy, which we still are now. But there was one where I was in the mascot suit, Tanasi, our wolf mascot.
That's the one I remember you telling me about.
And
yeah.
I got on our pallet jack that we use to like move sodas and stuff around in this big hill over here that's super sloped. I started at the top, and as soon as you let go, like you're zooming down that hill. So I was in the suit, riding the pallet jack with one of our foam axes, just like twirling it, and we had this funny song in the background. But what the camera didn't see was, I'm just riding it down, going super fast, but I had to hop off in the suit like halfway, or I would have just crashed into the fence.
Well, I was wondering if you ever stopped.
Yeah, no, I had to jump off. The pallet jack rolled into the parking lot.
Hit the road and went down to Lowe's. And
the pallet jack almost did, yeah. But we've done some crazy ones in season 2. Like, we did a breaking news type video last week to announce some promotions, and myself and Jack, our marketing intern, were up here on the Axmen News Network quoting Anchorman, and then we'd flash down to me in like a Hawaiian shirt and bucket hat, just going crazy with an interview about a promotion.
So
but
see,
we've had some good ones.
That's even more, more proof that this is fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
oh yeah,
everybody needs to come out. Everybody needs to participate.
Mm-hmm.
You've got some big promotions, coming up too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fulkerson bobblehead.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Tell us about that a little bit.
Friday, August 5th, John Fulkerson, the UT basketball star and Kingsport native, I've been told, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he
started off at DB, and then I think he transferred before he went to UT.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah, so we're doing a bobblehead giveaway of him. We've got 1,000 bobbleheads, so first 1,000 fans in the gate get a Fulkerson replica bobblehead. And as of now, he's coming out to the game. So
Sweet.
We'll have him set up under a tent, doing autographs, pictures, all that good stuff. So it should be a huge night. I mean, I know he's a big name around here.
Yeah,
so.
He's such a nice dude.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah, really good person.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, I think it was 2 years ago, maybe. My son was down in Knoxville with some family. They were going to a UT game, and they actually saw him in Calhoun's, I believe it was, restaurant. And, he took his picture with Nolan. It was a big deal, but super, super nice guy.
Yeah, good guy.
It's nice to still have those people kind of spearheading, sports and being good influences for kids. So it'll be really cool to have him out. I hope that he's able to make it. That would be a big crowd.
Yeah, definitely.
Folks would love to see him. You need to figure out a way to get him on the field and embarrass him.
We'll have him on the field for some of our between inning stuff at least once or twice.
I think you need to get him in the batter's box, and you just need to throw smoke at him. Just see what happens.
I mean, you could do that, or you could do what my son did. He did the Cupid shuffle down on the dugout.
Oh,
so you can get him to do something.
We'll get him in a dance or something for sure.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, so August 5th, right?
Yeah.
August 5th.
And then the 6th is fireworks the day after. So that's our last home game of the season. So we're doing fireworks that night. Fireworks is always a good night. It's a great show. So.
Yeah, you can't beat that. I mean, that's a no-brainer. Everyone comes out for fireworks.
Yeah, definitely.
It's usually a packed house on fireworks night.
Yeah.
So that's always a lot of fun. But this was great, Logan.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
The rain went away.
Yeah.
I know people aren't going to know this, but it came a torrential downpour.
It did. Yeah.
It's like 30 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And was like, man, this is going to be a little ugly. Because I kind of wanted to be on the field.
Yeah.
But I was like, nope,
that's
not happening.
Yeah.
Baseball does that to you.
Oh yeah.
It's constant. You get a rain out when you don't want one.
Oh yeah.
Well, everyone, go, check out the Kingsport Axmen. 10 games left? Is there 10, 9, 10?
5 home games and either 5 or 6 away.
5 or 6 away.
You guys have a tournament after, or is it?
It's a 1-game championship. So, and it'll be as long as
top seed of each side.
Yeah, top seed of each division, and the way the host works is they rotate division each year for the host. So. Even if we have the best record, the other division will host, so we'll be on the road for the championship game.
Okay.
Yeah.
But no, come out to a game, bring the family, follow them on TikTok. It's funny. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
And also check out afiadvisors.com.
We do financial stuff.
We do financial stuff. I know that it doesn't seem like it today, but
it's a good family value. We're talking about budgeting.
Right.
You come out here.
Sometimes you just need a break. You need to get away. You need to get out of the office. You need to come out here and set up and, get soaking wet and then sweat in the humidity of what we call East Tennessee summer.
Yep.
So, but it's been great, Logan. Thank you,
Yeah.
Peter. As always, it was fun. So, everyone, thanks for tuning in. This is Josh Shores with AFI Advisors, and we will catch you later.